Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The stage is set at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta as Season 14 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge roars to life. Over the next 75 minutes, 4 classes, GTP, LMP2, GT3, Pro, and AM, will open an 8-round campaign where every point counts and every lap matters. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Larry Lefty McLeod in the commentary box with Jonathan Grabowski behind the scenes, making sure all the viewers here on Apex Racing TV have the best seat in the house. Already, the championship picture looks different for Season 14. Last season's GTP champion Bailey Petrowski and LMP2 champion Carson Cushman, well, they're not here, leaving both titles wide open. And in GT3 Pro, Ethan Bass of Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport, he returns in his Ford Mustang GT3 to defend his crown, while Carlos Borreo, last year's GT3 AM champion with Speedlab Esports, makes the leap to the prototypes behind the wheel of a GTP BMW M Hybrid, and said that leaves a fresh GT3 AM field eager to carve its own path. New names, hungry challengers, and the promise of a brand new season, all it begins here on the fast straights, the blind crests, and the punishing S's of Road Atlanta. The lights are ready and the engines are alive, and the fight for Season 14, Mr. McLeod, begins right now.
It does. Season 14 starts with a huge field. My goodness, I believe there's 58 cars that are signed in for our race tonight. That's huge.
And even 58 drivers to join them.
I know, if only. I mean, I could jump in if they got a spare car
I always
somewhere.
bring a spare.
Yeah, well, you might hit a wall, but
I usually do.
we are
right around 9:30.
It is a lot. It's all full of optimism. We'll see what we have at the end of tonight's race, but certainly everyone believes they can win those championships. We'll see at the end of the night who at least gets that off to a good start, maybe gets those max points and stays alive. It's going to be tough. This is not the biggest track in the world. To throw 58 cars is going to start to feel like one of those low budget endurance races around here at times. But no,
right.
This is high budget cars, at least in theory, with our GT3s and our prototypes. So let's see who can survive and what it looks like at the end of the night.
That's right, when they're all stacked up Blues Brothers style at the top of turn 3, Larry, on the opening lap, will be down to, about 17 or 18 drivers. But lots of old faces, lots of new faces. And speaking of old faces back here, Larry, and now I guess he is kind of old, as we're watching him right now come through turn 7 and on to the long back straight at Road Atlanta. It's Elvis Rankin, multi-time World Challenge champion, back when, back in his early teens. He's been spending a lot of time in the UK, chasing karting, chasing sim racing, chasing pro racing glory, and he's come back to join us here this weekend. I think he's running for the Speed Lab Esports folks when time allows. Yeah, he is. There he goes. He's got the logo on the door. But we got a lot of racers here out on track, and they are out right now for the Speed Lab qualifying session here, Larry. So let's take a look. As we've got our drivers on track, we'll point out for you the 4 different classes that we have. As long as we're looking at Scott Maui right now, driving the number 88 Dallara. We'll first focus on the spec cars that are in the LMP2 class, the Dallara P217s, and you can pick all of those LMP2 cars out because they're going to have the blue number boards on the nose and on the doors. They're going to have blue end plates on their wings as well. Not to be confused with the many different GTP racers that we have here with us tonight, who have already completed each of their flying laps. We've got, for example, the Acura ARX06, the Ferrari 599, the Porsche 963, and that BMW hybrid M-Power machine. All of our GTP cars, you'll pick them out because they'll have the black number boards. But kind of easy to tell the 2 prototype classes apart. Not as easy are our GT3 racers, where let's jump over real quick to Jordan Rick Segrini, who I believe may still be out on track right now in the number 8 Mercedes. There he is, coming onto the back straight on his 4th and final flying lap here in Speed Lab qualifying. Jordan, who's put in some time in the GR Cup, Spec Miata racing as well, and he is looking to do very well here. Like all of our other pro drivers, they have the Ricmotech red number boards on the sides of the cars and on the nose, the Ricmotech red windshield banner, mirrors, and the end plates on their wings, whereas our AM drivers, and I think we still have Jesse Ansley out on track right now in his Ford Mustang GT3, another one of our Speed Lab drivers. All of our AM drivers, they've got the green number boards and windshield banners, mirrors, etc. as he finishes up his 4th and final flying lap. Good advancement for him, moves from 16th fastest in the AM category up to 10th, Larry.
Yeah, but qualifying getting a little bit closer. Of course, we'll have our pre-race interviewee here.
I was going to say, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we bring in our pre-race interviewee, as we've got just about 4 minutes remaining here in qualifying, as we see Ben Rose taking his LMP2 car out on track and going to complete his final flying lap, trying to move up from 5th fastest in those LMP2s. We've got Fernando Takahashi joining us here, Larry. After a couple seasons off, the Brazilian comes back. He rejoins us. He is driving his BMW M Hybrid in the GTP class, racing the season for Serpent Racing. Let's talk to him.
All right, join here is pre-race Fernando Takahashi. And Fernando, it's been a couple seasons. Good to have you back. What have you been up to in the last few seasons?
Hey guys, yeah, can you hear me well?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, all right. Yeah, no, very excited to come back after a few seasons. Trying to learn more, sharpen my skills. I believe, the level of competition here was always high and has always been. So I believe I needed like some time off to sharpen my skills and get a little better. Let's see how that transpires tonight.
Yeah, well,
uh,
I
uh,
think when you joined us before, I think we had different cars for these World Challenge. Now, of course, we got the newer generation of GTPs. How is your adaptation to the new cars going?
well, yeah, it was tricky at the beginning, but I believe it feels a lot better and more realistic now how you feel the tires. I believe they could, maybe improve the tire warms or something to avoid that many, first lap incidents. But they are trying to make it as realistic as possible. So let's go with that. It's a learning curve, but I also believe that adds to the fun and to the realism that we are all pursuing here. So having fun with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The realism sometimes includes a few walls here and there, but hopefully we won't have those kind of issues tonight. But we got a pretty good sized field. You look down this group of the GTPs. This seems a little bigger even than when you were running in the past. You ready for this bigger fight and more cars?
Yeah, and definitely with the addition of the LMP2s,
Mhm.
that definitely adds a whole new dynamic to multi-class racing, which is what I love. I think managing the traffic is my favorite part of this type of racing.
Yeah.
And with three car classes on the track, it's always better. So let's see how it
Yeah, it's a
goes.
lot of potentially a lot of traffic tonight with a lot of GT3s signed up. And of course, with the different speed of the different prototypes as well thrown in, this could be for a very interesting evening. If you're looking for practice on fighting traffic, I think you came to the right place. Um, but we have another minute here. The pre-race interview is I always like to learn a little bit more about the driver. Maybe if you want to tell us a little something of what you do outside of sim racing, maybe what you do for work or other hobbies you might have.
Yeah, outside of work, I work as a pre-sales solution consultant for a tech company called Medallia. This is a customer service company. If you Google Medallia with double L in your Gmail inbox, you'll probably find tons of surveys
Mhm.
that companies are sending to you. We are the platform enabling all that behind the scenes. I'm now the working in alliances, so I manage the alliances with other software vendors like Adobe, Salesforce, ServiceNow, all
Mm.
that. So
Okay.
really, really fun. Medallia is a company that they really are interested in the sport and they sponsor a lot of people. I've been trying to convince them to sponsor sim racing. Hopefully that happens in the future. But yeah, that's definitely interesting job, and allows me with certain flexibility working from home, which helps with my sim racing career as well. And
Yeah.
of course, my family support, everyone that helps with the support. My great team, I joined a new team this season, Roto Esports. They are a Brazilian team. They are growing their positioning in the global landscape. They
Mhm.
participated in some, world championships like the one in Spain, Valencia. We had, drivers from like in 5 different countries. So it's definitely a team that is growing fast. And, Molina is from my team. He's from Bolivia. You can see him in the pole
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
So let's hope we can do a great race tonight.
All right. Well, a very international field here tonight. Of course, looking at the list, it's going to be a lot of fun. Good luck tonight. I think we're gritting up, and any luck here, maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you at the end of it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a good
Good luck,
night and
Fernando.
see you at the finish line.
All right.
All right, there you go, everybody. Fernando Takahashi driving in the Serpent Racing, in the Rosso Esports BMW M Hybrid tonight in the GTP class. Fernando qualified right in the middle of that GTP field tonight during Speed Lab qualifying. So, Larry, as all of our racers are taking to the grid, why don't we run down the starting order?
All right, let's start with those GTPs. They will have their own start on the pole tonight. Rosso Esports, Daniel Molina, as you just Fernando just mentioned, one of his teammates up there. On the outside of front row in the Squirk Motorsports entry, it's Michelle Squirk. Row 2 on the inside, it's an SRT Esport entry from Stephen Hudak, the Canadian, alongside, I believe it's an Australian, Connor Nixon, Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports. I could have my flags wrong. On row 3 from Rosso Esports, we just talked to him, Fernando Takahashi, the Brazilian, alongside another American. Got quite a few of them here as well, Jimbo Pfeiffer from Sector 5 Racing. Row 4 on the inside, it is the man, the myth, the legend, be it Bobby Childs from D2D Sim Racing, alongside Dalton Fredericks, HSR Phantom Racing. And then finally on row 5, HSR Phantom Racing, it's Jake Zito, which gets us to our LMP2s. And on the pole there tonight for Metamorphosis, it's Justin Barrera. Alongside him, they will get their own start. So alongside Justin will be Josh Chinsky from SRT Esport. Row 2 is going to be Alex Crow, a Canadian here from Majors Esport. And on the outside of row 2 is going to be Kevin McPherson, another SRT Esport entry. Row 3, Ben Rose will take the inside of DNA Motorsports alongside Caleb Lehman at SRT Esport. Row 4, Jake Vasasolanos, I'm going to screw that name up all night, I apologize, SRT Esport alongside Bobby Babala.
Bet you're going to miss this one up more.
It's going to be great. We get 8 weeks to practice.
Baba Let's Goes.
Yes, I'll let you handle that one, Greg. In the next row behind them, Jordan Butler from DNA and Jordan Griffin from Purple Sector. And then finally, we have a new entry this season, Scott Mowry, alongside Lewis Satterley from SRT Esports.
And Larry, look at the size of the field that SRT Esports has fielded here in LMP2. Well, all right, let's move over to the GT cars, where starting on the pole tonight for Speed Lab Esports, welcome back to the World Challenge, Elvis Rankin. He's going to start alongside multi-time pro champion Leo Dragota from Orion Race Team in his BMW M4. Then we've got on row number 2, it is Michael Brooks and Nick Risputo. Starting on the 3rd row in 5th position, Ken Copeland from The Wrong Stuff, next to our season 13 champion Ethan Bass from Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports. Then we've got Milan Harris and Ilya Speaker making up row number 4. Jordan Rick Segrini with Brian Bennett from Sector 5 alongside him. Then we've got another former multi-time champion in the pro ranks, Mike Dam, one of our fastest drivers in practice this week. A little surprised to see him starting back here, but he's going to start alongside his Orion teammate Travis Schwenke. Then we got Brian Coxon and Keith Stein. Moving over to GT4 AM, it's going to be Lucas Dragota. He is your pole sitter in the class. He's going to start alongside pro driver Robert Hartley, with Aaron Beaver and Charlie Jose on the next row. Trevor Clement and Michael Moseman. Then we've got Dan Corrido and Chester Guidry. And as our GTP racers head into 10A and 10B, let's get the rest of the field here. Filippo Barberi from Speed Lab alongside Chase West. Neil Weston alongside Aaron Sunday. And then we've got Jeff Jacobs alongside Rocky Rocco from Rockefeller Racing. We'll get back to the rest of the field here as we can, but coming around out of turn 12, taking the green flag here, it is Michelle Squarick from the outside alongside Daniel Molino. Molino's going to slot in the second. This is actually Squarick's home track, and she was your fastest driver in practice during the week. She got a great start there from the outside lane as our LMP2 racers now take the green flag. And that's Josh Chinsky, who pulls all the way into the grass and gets back out on track. Not sure what happened there, but Justin Barrera jumps to an early lead with Alex Crow. Kevin McPherson, our fastest driver in practice during the week, rookie this year, sitting in 3rd with Caleb Lehman in 4th. And now here come the GT3 boys and girls, and it is Elvis Rankin with Leo Dragota. They are already locked nose to tail, have opened up 2 car lengths on Michael Brooks and Nick Risputo. Ken Copeland with Ethan Bass, and then Milan Harrison, Jordan Rick Segrini, as they all get in line. And look at the length of that snake, Larry, as they come all the way down through the S's. And then Elvis Rankin already now starting to open up a little bit of a gap along with Leo Dragota on the rest of the field.
Yeah, the length of that GT3 field and the split starts means the GTPs are going to be the back of those GT3s very quickly on a very short road Atlanta. Of course, this is not exactly Le Mans. As you can see right there, our GTPs already starting lap 2, and they are going to be seeing GT3s within a couple of corners. That's how tight this is going to be. There's a good look at Bobby Childs, of course, the new livery there on his D2D entry.
He takes a whole bunch of curb running down through the curbing, and Bobby now, I guess, the standard bearer for D2D sim racing, this season, as he's currently sitting in 6th behind with a couple car lengths to get up to Takahashi over in LMP2. Already now about half a second separating most of our racers in the class with Barrera and Crow. Let's see if we can what happened there on the opening round of or the opening lap here is Josh Chinsky, who had that issue on the start.
Oh.
He just came down the hill ahead of the entire rest of the LMP2 field and pulled into the grass and let them all go. That was one of the strangest starts I've seen.
I wonder if he misjudged the start and went with the GTPs and maybe just
Quite
forgot
possibly.
and realized it. Went, this is a good time to fix this.
Well, Larry, it's been a whole 3 weeks since the last World Challenge season completed. A lot can happen in that time, and minds can wander, and that's what happens. So, but Chinsky now makes his way. He's already passed 3 cars. He's now up in the 9th. As we jump on board, Nick Resputo there in the blue Mercedes. He's got Ken Copeland's Lamborghini, the widest Lamborghini, I think, in the World Challenge, Larry. Of course, so we don't want to say anything about Michael Brooks right ahead of him, but we know that Copeland can get very defensive in that car if it comes down to it. But first, he has to get around the Mercedes.
I think the whole Wrong Stuff team is pretty solid at maintaining position. Brooks and Copeland, both prime examples of it. Let's just see how conservative folks are here at the start of this 75-minute race. If anybody, I don't really see a lot of opportunities being taken, any chances here. I think they're all just sort of staying in line, let this thing sort itself out. You and I were speculating at the start with 58 cars in the field tonight, how many actually might survive. We're going to give this a couple minutes. A lot of these drivers might be thinking the same thing, that perhaps there's a survival thing to helping your position. Just wait it out. Maybe wait in stages. 15 minutes is the survival. The next 15 to 30 becomes let's get ready for a pit stop. And then it's, of course, the last 30 is where you actually go for it. We might be seeing some of these drivers, especially in the front of the field, taking that kind of strategy tonight.
Wow. And Larry, here is something absolutely huge to start the race off, besides the fact that our GTP racers are going through the grass on the run down to turn 6 to get around GT3 cars. Elvis Rankin, and we've got another driver off there in the grass coming out of turn 7. Elvis Rankin, our pole sitter tonight in GT3 Pro and current leader, has just been assigned a drive-through penalty for a start violation. And there he is coming down the pit lane now in his Ford Mustang.
That's very interesting. I guess the claim is here that perhaps he had changed lanes before the start-finish line. So as pole sitter, he must have moved to the outside a little bit too early to block that outside road. The stewards feel like that's where the penalty. The good news for him is Road Atlanta is not the longest pit lane. So it's a penalty, lose a lot of track position. But you just see the worst part is he comes out right in the middle of that pack of GTPs, and that might be a bigger risk for him than just staying out in front of the field like he was.
Yeah, indeed, and rejoins 19th in Pro, and I think it's like 24th or 25th amongst all the GT3 racers. So he's got a lot of fighting ahead of him, as our GTP racers already starting to make their way, as we mentioned, through the field. Late move there by Connor Nixon in the 02 BMW M-Power, but managed to get through the field. He's got Dalton Fredericks very close behind. And as you said, this is the widest part of the track here, Larry, and you can go 3-4 wide for a time.
Yeah.
But it's
Aaron
pretty
Sunday,
much the only place
probably,
on the track you can.
Aaron Sunday can probably tell you exactly how wide it is in turn 6, as he was that GT3 car with a whole bunch of GTPs around him trying to survive a couple of corners there, which he did, so that's good, but got a little nervous for a minute.
All right, more penalties coming in. Keith Stein, the Canadian, in the number 48 Ford Mustang.
Oh.
And that's Moseman, who had some issues on the opening lap, Larry. He lost 15 positions to start this race off. And looks like he just got it wrong over at turn 5. As we watch what he did here, the 48 machine now getting a drive-through penalty for incident responsibility. As we mentioned, Keith Stein, another one of our Mustang drivers, must be that big coffee and octane thing that they have over at the Speedway directly across the street at Linear Speedway that they're all getting caught up in.
As we
Probably
go
it's
board.
caffeine and octane, by the way.
Caffeine and octane, is that what it's called now?
That's exactly what it's called.
You know, it's amazing how much they pay the marketing folks. But here we go. Bubba Let's Go's in his LMP2 in a bit of a fight here. As Josh Chinsky, after his oops at the start, has gotten himself back in the mix here, right on the back of Bobby. And then, of course, Jake right in front of them.
Yeah, large rookie field here this season, Larry, as we alluded to, in the LMP2 field. We've got 5 rookies, and with the exception of 2 of them, they are all from SRT Esport. We have from SRT, we've got Kevin McPherson, who I mentioned was the fastest driver during practice. We've got Lewis Satterley, who I think actually joined us towards the very end of season 13. Also, Jake Vasconcelos, who we were just watching there a moment ago. We also have Bob. See, now I'm going to get it wrong. It's Bobby Baba Leskos joining us here in LMP2. Oh
that's
no!
A big one. That is a big one, and we may have some track blockage there coming out of 7.
More Mustangs flying through the air, Larry. No spectator is safe.
Those are not the P51 variety either.
No. No, although that thing could have probably used a prop.
Quick replay here as they all come into 7. There's some traffic. You got the LMP2 on the inside. And then the slow Mustang coming out. Wow.
Yeah, so
is that Rocky Rocco?
I think that, as I go back and look, I think that was Rocky Rocco. Greg Brockway in the Acura, Larry, was pointing counter race on the outside. There you go, trying to back up out of the way now.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, all I can say is that's unfortunate. Looks like Pan Hirday in his McLaren might have been caught up in this as well.
Here's where it starts. Is Brockway, you can see, ends up hitting to the back of Rocco because Brockway's Frito Sport teammate was the one actually facing up track that kind of triggered all of that. So about
so it was John Casey. Yeah, John Casey, who was off wide on the exit of driver's right, and Brockway, who was following through, just nowhere to go except in the back of a Mustang.
Well, while that's happening, our race leader, our GTP leader, is Daniel Molina, off to a solid start here, about a couple seconds now ahead of Michelle Squirk and Stephen Hudak, each about 2.5 seconds between and behind Molina here. So Molina enjoying the clear track while it lasts.
Yeah, indeed. And jumping into the pits, and I'm not sure, I don't think that certainly this isn't time to have Ben Rose in the number 5 LMP2 Dillard decided to bring his car down the pit lane.
Oh, and more contact here now with the LMP2s fighting each other a little bit. It's all kinds of action right now. It's hard to kind of keep focused on any of them. Elvis Rankin, of course, making his way through the field.
Yeah, and so Rankin now up to 14th in Pro. Which would put him 17th in GT3. So he's already made up, Larry, since that drive-through penalty. He's made up, I think, 7 or 8 positions already.
Those that maybe have started to pick up watching our series in the last maybe 1 year or 2 years ago, maybe not remember Elvis Rankin. As you mentioned, he's doing some European racing these days, real world racing, obviously also at the highest level of sim racing, living over in the UK these days, which means it's 1 a.m. But what he actually, I would almost say, got his start, or at least got his little bit of his,
before he was old enough to
here.
Get behind the wheel of a race car.
But he used to run with us, and he won everything with us, it seemed. And In fact, I would almost say he perfected his interview techniques with us, as we used to enjoy. Elvis, and I'm kind of looking forward to eventually maybe talking to him again if he can get back on the podium.
Yeah,
sometime this
hopefully
season.
he'll have some shout outs for his mama and
Grammy,
his papa,
granddad, and
grandma and grandpa. Yeah.
They were the best. He knew how to, even at whatever he was, 11 years old, 12 years old, he knew how to hit everyone. Sponsors, I'm sure he's only gotten better.
I would suspect, and he had to learn because Larry, as you mentioned before, he headed over to the UK.
Yeah.
I believe he took the win in after doing so well in iRacing Skip Barber F4 series.
Yeah.
The initial series, he got a ride, I think, for a half season, turned it into a full season ride, and took a season championship in the real life Skip Barber F4 series here in the States, and then headed over to the UK.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back on board here. Brian Bennett in the number 71 McLaren. The McLaren's not showing the speed here this evening, Larry, at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, is Brian Cox and Brian Bennett. And interestingly enough, Travis Schwenke tonight racing in one of the McLarens as well, whereas the majority of the Orion team, well, I was going to say the majority of the Orion team. We know Mike Dam is driving the BMW M4, but as I look through the field, Leo Dragota, who is now our leader, is behind the wheel. He goes back to his old favorite, the Mercedes AMG GT.
He was a Porsche guy for a long time, and now it seems he's enjoying that little bit of a different feel in that Mercedes. But yeah, it's very unusual to see the whole team. Maybe that was their strategy this season, is everyone in that Orion team chose a different car. Typically, they choose one car, and then they all share mostly baseline-ish sort of setup. But it looks like they're all on their own this season when it comes to car setup.
Yeah, indeed. I think the only pairing is, we talked about Mike Dam and Hartley, who is a little bit further back in the field, currently running 11th in Pro, 12th in GT3, the only other Orion racer behind the wheel of the BMW. As Schwenke puts his McLaren to the one position to the good, gets around Brian Bennett. And we had some folks in the chat asking about what happened to Ken Copeland. Question is, what happened to Ken Copeland? I think
he's
Ken,
still out there.
He's still out there rotating, maybe not rotating around, but he did drop a number of positions. He is currently sitting 13th.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Just behind Dan Carrito.
Dan Carrito and Elvis Rankin.
He does have some scuffs there on the Wrong Stuff Racing livery on the right side of that car. So he's definitely met some friends somewhere on the track tonight.
The wrong side for the wrong stuff, yeah.
He looks like he's got a pretty good run here using that back straight draft to catch up to the Acura in front of him. That would be Dan Carrito. Rankin's already 2 seconds ahead of these guys. Shows you the speed that Elvis Rankin brings to this.
And looks as though we have lost a few folks already. We'd talked about Pan Hirday in his McLaren having some troubles early on. He is in the chat, and Larry, all he could say is, man. Actually, fewer A's, more N's from Pan. And, Jordan Rick Segrini's mother, Susan, is in the chat. Hi, Susan. Long time no see.
And yes, Pan, there has been some minor glitches with the CPU tonight. We're getting that resolved, though. 58 cars on the race. Computer's got to keep up.
Everything looks great on my end, though, Larry.
Yeah, here in my terminal as well. As Jordan now trying to make a move here. That's Milan Harris in the Mustang in front of him.
And again, Jordan,
meanwhile,
Mike
Dam.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's just ahead, Mike Dam. Good move, though, by Segrini coming down the hill. Currently sitting in 6th, and Segrini, as we mentioned, did a little running over the last couple of years with BSI Racing, with Shea Holbrook's team in the Toyota GR Cup over on the SRO side of the house. And I've, of course, seen Jordan run quite a bit in Spec Miata and Sports Car Co. of America Racing as well. As well as another iRacing league, which I can't mention here.
Nope.
That the Good Grud announces for.
4G.
4G.
It's really just 2. All right, so lots of different battles going on. We haven't talked a lot yet about GT3 AM tonight, while Leo Dragota is leading that by quite a margin. Dan Carrito is in second. There's some gaps here. Chester Bidley sitting in that third spot, but we got little battles going on like the one we're watching here. That looks like in the Mustang. We got Aaron Beaver, I think, in the Acura. Trying to chase down.
It's Beaver and Adam Cohen as they go into turn 6 side by side. Good recovery there from Cohen as he just was able to use that GTP racer as a bit of a pick going in through 6. And big change this season for season 14, Larry. In the past, and we've talked about this quite a bit, where the GT3 AM racers would receive points based on their finishing order in the entire GT3 field. We are now really separating out GT3 Pro and GT3 AM. Your GT3 AM winner will get the same winner's points, I think 64 points, that the GT3 Pro driver gets. And so, at this point, Dan Carrito, who's got 3 pro drivers between he and our AM leader, Lucas Dragota. I mean, he's on line for second place points, not 15th place points.
Yeah, that's significant. That way it actually rewards if you're in class and you finish second in class. It actually is a better reward for you, even if there's a couple of pro drivers between you and your rival ahead of you in AM position. So I think it could make things interesting in the points, rather than overemphasizing a one single high run through the field of the GT3 Pros. Now you actually have to fight against the other AMs. And I think they've even talked about maybe not requiring the AMs to move over for pros either. They can
exactly. They have their own race, and so they're not going to get blue flags for something like that. They're under no requirement there to move over. The interesting thing, though, is, Larry, of course, because we don't split the GT3 Pro and AM field at the start of this race. It really makes qualifying very important if you're planning on challenging for a position here as Elvis Rankin gets around our AM leader Lucas Dragota as he hooks onto the back of some of our LMP2 racers. They're coming onto the back straight. But for example, Lucas Dragota started off with, I think, four pro drivers between he and Dan Carrito, and that may lock Carrito in the second place points, but it also makes it really hard for him to challenge for a win.
It does. The track position, as motorsports typically is hyper critical when you're in the GT3 AM field. If you can possibly out-qualify by a few spaces, now you may only be getting second place points for second place, but you'll really challenge to try and win a race if there's 4 or 5 cars between you and that, like we're seeing currently between Carrito and Dragota. It's a tough hill to climb for Carrito to try and make that pass. At least he'll get second place points back there, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes this season. I think there's limitations in the sim to being able to actually do a split start with them because of how the sim does split starts. It doesn't allow you to create your own subclasses, but we'll at least see with this combined start but separated points how that works out a few races in, as Elvis Rankin continuing to make his way through the field now as they go through turn 7 and GTPs all around trying to get on through. Wow. It is tight.
And Larry, I didn't see what happened, but Michael Brooks is showing now as being, I think, 6 laps down, having spent some time on the pit lane, and looks as though he may have checked out of the session. Brooks was one of our 2 fastest drivers in GT3 Pro here during the week. Let's see if we can pick this out and see what happened. Nah, unfortunately,
Replay's a little tough here.
Yeah, having some issues. We'll see if we can get that a little bit later. But for those of you who may be wondering, that's where he is. Ooh, is Rankin. Bit of a move there coming down through the S's. That was interesting.
Got to be aggressive if you want to make your way through a field. Here's the battle. Speaking of aggressive, this is Bennett and Carrito. Carrito running second in AM. Bennett out of the pro category. Bennett sitting in 13th.
So those two have swapped positions, Larry. But Carrito had a great run coming down the hill, and Bennett just appeared to come offline as he was setting up for turn 5 to just really stunt that charge from Carrito, and Carrito just did not get good exit speed on the run down to turn 6.
Well, in this case, looks like Bennett got the better exit off of 7, which left him comfortable all the way down the back straight, maybe running a little less downforce on his McLaren than perhaps Carrito is in the Acura. Straightaway speed looking a little better than McLaren tonight, at least between these two.
Meanwhile, Larry, let's see if we can jump up to the front of the GT3 Pro field with Leo Dragotta and Ethan Bass. Bass, who started this race, I believe, in 6th position, Larry. He is right there. I thought he was right there. Never mind.
There he is.
He's not right there. He's 5 seconds back.
He's a couple seconds back, but that was actually Pan Hiraday in his GTP.
Yeah.
Kind of alongside our race leader, Leo Dragotta. So that means Pan's back in the race, unless he's also chatting at the same time he was in the chat earlier. I assume his race car is fixed enough to continue. But it does mean that Ethan Bass is on a pretty good run here, moving through position-wise, but also maybe even closing that gap just a little bit to Leo Dragotta.
Yeah, and again, Ethan, our Season 13 GT3 Pro champion, looking to defend this season.
And Leo Dragotta, our Season 12 GT3 Pro champion.
And please don't make me go back and see which years.
As well as our Season 10.
Yes, correct.
Bailey was the one in between them. I've got it in front of me. I'm cheating.
All right.
Ken Copeland won GT3 Pro in Season 9. Mike Dam in Season 8. You see a trend here. These guys are still here and trying to fight in this field every year. It gets deeper and it gets larger.
I just find it difficult to call Elvis Rankin the elder statesman in the field.
At least wait till he can legally drink before saying he's the elder statesman.
Yes. I think that might
or even legally have a driver's license in most countries. I'm not sure he can yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, he may still need an escort to go through Germany, through most of the EU. By the way, Larry, so I also found out this weekend that, speaking of some Spec Miata drivers, one of our drivers in the Touring Car Cup and Sports Car Series, and actually I believe he did incredibly well in LMP3 this past season in the Sports Car Series. He was out with the NASA National Championships out at the Ozarks Raceway, and it appears that Caliper Killer rolls off the tongue better than Tire Killer for Dean Dibtall.
Yeah,
he had a pretty tough week of it, and apparently had a rear caliper exit the vehicle partway through his race. It's not certainly not what you want to see when you lose braking ability, especially with that racetrack with the walls so close. But hopefully we'll see him back here next week, perhaps.
I hope. I don't know that I see him signed up yet here for the LMP2. So I don't think we'll see him here in the World Challenge like we did before. But
I was
he'll
hoping
come
maybe
back.
we'd see him in the Mini-Mite Sports
Maybe.
Car Challenge for our LMP3 and GT4
And entering the
racers.
chat as his caliper leaves the chat.
There it
Dean
is.
Dahl, now in the chat. Hey, Dean.
There he is. Hey, Dean.
Rough luck there last week. That's the way motorsports goes.
The Mini-Mite Sports Car Challenge next Monday night, 8:10 p.m. at Virginia International Raceway for round number 2 of their brand new season. If you'd like to sign up, you can head to xmsracing.com/MSC-shop.
I love stories, though. I don't like the tragedy and the difficulties that Dean struggled with at the NASA Championships. I do like how we have a lot of crossover drivers between real world and sim racing on these Monday night series. Obviously, Dan, obviously Elvis Rankin, Michelle Squarick, Jordan Rick Segrini, and many others that I'm sure I'm missing. A lot of folks that do both real life wheel to wheel as well as here in the sim world. And I think it's great that we've got folks that have time to do both. I know I barely have time to do anything, and I'm not even as deep into the motorsports world as some of these folks are, but glad we've got them. And Dean, yes, I'm old enough for college now. He might have started college at 14, but he's old enough for college now. Dean, I'm just making fun of you. He did graduate high school. He's in college now. He's probably still older than Elvis Rankin. We may have to get an ID check on that.
I was going to say, I think Dean might have like a couple days on him or something.
And then you got the Jagoda boys, and they're both younger. We'll leave it at that. I love the youth. I love the fact that parents let their kids stay up late at night to do this. And if you're Elvis Rankin, staying up till the wee hours of the morning in the UK, where he's currently signed in from, I believe. And speaking of world travelers, there's the camera on Fernando Takahashi. We talked to him pre-race, the Brazilian living in the US these days, and brought some friends with him this season here at the Rosso Racing.
And it looks like Rocky Rocco and Adam Cohen may have had some issues on track. It wouldn't be. I didn't think Rocky Rocco would be able to get his car back out on track, honestly, after that huge
Never
shunt.
underestimate the Rockefeller Racing crew members to get that car back together.
That's right.
When the boss man snaps his fingers, that car gets repaired.
Then everybody comes to attention. Exactly.
All right, there's Elvis Rankin. And keeping up with his teammate, and just in time for Rocky Rocco to have more issues coming out.
Actually, I think that might have been Adam Cohen.
Oh, maybe.
Possibly. And I just want to.
No, this is Cohen here.
Okay.
I believe,
because Cohen's one of the Speed Lab drivers. Yeah.
Yep. So Cohen here getting passed by teammate Elvis Rankin. Yes, as you mentioned, one of the Speed Lab entries in the Mustang. But I think behind them was definitely one of the Rockefeller Racing Mustangs. Again, struggling at corner 7's exit. We'll have to check in a few minutes, see who that was.
I wonder, that might have been Ilya Speaker, possibly, now that I'm thinking about it. Speaker driving a Mustang? Let me double check.
He is. He is in a Mustang tonight.
Yep, I think that was Mr. Speaker going off at turn 7. So many Mustangs, so little time.
So many stereotypes. So many memes, so little time.
All right, another penalty being handed down. The 17 machine getting a drive-through penalty. And that is, everybody say it with me, Bobby Childs, the driver of the D2D. Acura, he got together with the number 71 machine a couple laps ago. And I just had a beat on the 71, and now I lost him. Brian Bennett in his McLaren. Here's Bobby taking the pit lane walk of shame.
The only way to go through pit lane with more shame is to hit the entry wall, which Bobby does not do in this case.
No.
Others have. I did hit a pit wall or two in my day. Never works out well.
No.
All right, speaking of in the pits, I think We have a Ken Copeland taking his pit stop.
Another penalty just coming in. The number 8 car. That is Jordan Ricmotech. Mom, please don't blame me for calling this out. Jordan Ricmotech getting together with the number 72 machine. And he will now serve a drive-through penalty as well. 72, the LMP2 machine of Jordan Butler.
We haven't talked much yet about our LMP2 leader tonight, Justin Barrera. He's got himself a comfortable 9-second lead there on Alex Crow. And behind them, Kevin McPherson, of course, Caleb Lehman. And then we've got Jordan Griffin there running in that 5th spot. Spread out a little bit. Nobody really too close together there. It's just hard to find them in this massive field tonight. But they're out there, I promise you. Thanks, Dean. Dean, I could have used you warming my tires at the autocross last week. I needed some real tire killer to get some heat in them, but it wasn't my day.
All right, so Larry, we are coming up towards the top of the hour here, and I think we're getting close to the pit window for at least our GTP racers. They've got a very big pit window. Actually, opened up about 3 laps ago. Back on lap 24, extends all the way to lap 40. So let's do this. Let's take our commercial break. Hopefully, they'll all wait for us to come back, and when we do, we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. You're watching round number 1 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Series, presented by the SCCA Foundation. We'll be right back.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org. The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It's round number 1 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by the SCCA Foundation here on Apex Racing TV. And of course, our race stewards tonight are provided by the SCCA Foundation, which provides funding for the SCCA Academy, training the next generation of race workers and volunteers that make real-life road racing events possible. Visit sccafoundation.org for more information. As we come back here, and thankfully, Larry,
good timing. Well, not so good if you're
not for Trevor Clement. It wasn't good timing, as he has a little run out to the wall over between turn 6 and turn 7. Yeah, that's right. Track goes that way. There you go.
Oh, dirty tires.
Oh,
he's gonna try and get out of the way now. Good job.
He's like that. Wasn't it a McLaren? No, it was a Lamborghini at VIR for the SRO race like a month or two ago, where the guy ended up spinning like 35 times over at Oak Tree.
Yeah.
They just kept the camera on him the whole time. All right, we're jumping back here. This is the battle for the lead. Daniel Molina, Michelle Squarick. She has caught our leader. And as they come down the hill into 14, probably into 10A and 10B, I forgot what track we're at. Look at this fight. Yeah, that's Stephen Hudak along with him as well.
Yeah, this is a three-way fight. This isn't just Squarick catching Molina. This is Hudak, Squarick, Molina. In pick your favorite order, because all three of them are together. Right now it's Molina, Squarick, Hudak. That seems to be able to change. Maybe by the time we get to turn 6, we'll see what kind of aggression Michelle Squarick turns on as they go down the S's here. Of course, with Hudak just in her mirrors. Good exit of 3 there for Molina on this lap. Way to respond there. We don't really know how they bunched up. Likely traffic, if I had to throw a guess out there.
Exactly. And so I kept saying, Larry, that Squarick was our fastest driver during the week in practice. Well, not 100% correct. Hudak and Michelle Squarick, they were the fastest drivers in practice. They were lapping here at a 1:10 flat. A little bit off that pace right now, about a half second off of that pace, but very, very close. Yeah. Also very close now is the battle for the lead in GT3 Pro. Leo Dragotta, Ethan Bass, and Nick Resputo, all within just about a half second of one another now as they make their way under the draft here down towards turn 10. And Dragotta now has managed to eke out maybe 2.5 car lengths there on both Bass and Resputo as they come down under braking. And we'll have to check who that LMP2 racer is right behind him, who's putting on the weave to watch him here.
I thought that might have been Bobby Babalestos, but I don't know for sure. As Ethan Bass into the pit lane, watch that pit wall. It's dangerous to come out and get you. But he is in. A little bit off pace, probably realizing the traffic situation was better to come in. Meanwhile,
And Mike
Daniel
Dam comes in
Molina,
with him as well.
Michelle
as we go-
Square continue, and the black and green you see there, of course, that's Stephen Hudak. The other red of the GTPs you see in there, that's actually a lap down Fernando Takahashi, our pre-race interviewee. He was the one that was in the mix as they came across start finish 2 laps ago. But Hudak may be the fastest one on track right now, closing that gap quickly now to Squarick and Molina.
Yeah, as they
There he is.
now try to make their way past Borreo
As
there.
we go on board, yeah. And it's... Was that Chase West?
Borreo is in one of our GTP cars as well. Oof, look at the closing speed there.
As Dan Carrito gets past with some GTPs going by. Still running in second in GT3 AM, but trying to survive as these really fast GTPs go roaring on by.
And meanwhile, Larry, is we talking about Justin Barrera for a moment, our leader in LMP2. He comes down the pit lane. He is the last of the LMP2 racers to pit. As is typically the case, the pit window for the LMP2 racers a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter than for our GTP and GT3 racers. And Barrera right at the very end of that pit window as he completes lap number 34. We had that window only going to about lap 33. Every other racer in the class had already pitted. Alex Crow, who was, is almost a half lap behind at this point. He's got a long way to go if he wants to get ahead of our leader. Molina now has managed to open up a little bit of a gap back to Michelle Squarick and Hudak, who, as you said, Larry, just a moment ago, was perhaps the fastest of the 3 there at the front of the field. With traffic, he's now had to drop a little bit off the back of Michelle Squarick. You can see there now maybe almost 15 car lengths back from Molina and Squarick here at the lead.
Now, I believe these cars, these GTPs as well, have not pitted yet. The top 4, Molina, Square, Hudak, and even Dalton Fredericks, who's closing also quickly on the front 3. I don't know if you noticed, is now under 4.5 seconds. He was about 6.5 seconds about 2 laps ago. So they're going to have to stop soon. Is that not happening yet?
Well, so Larry, the pit window, as I alluded to before we went to break, very long for the GTPs, extending from lap 24 all the way to lap 40. So we've still got about 3 more laps that these racers, assuming they're doing a decent amount of fuel savings, could probably stretch these cars out and even seem to make it out to lap 41.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Lucas Dragotta pits in from the lead in GT3 AM, and we've had a number of our GT3 racers come down the pit lane here to take service, as their window was only going to extend to lap 34, and most of the racers that came in the GT3 field having completed lap number 33, so right towards the very end of the window. Elvis Rankin, who goes back to the lead now, Larry, as Leo Dragotta pits in from what was the lead. Rankin, one of only, I believe, 3 GT3 racers, along with Robert Hartley and Brian Bennett, who have not yet come in for service. That said, Hartley and Bennett are now on the pit lane.
Has Rankin stopped?
He has not. Yeah, he had his drive-through penalty, but that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
and look at that, as Leo Dragotta trying to get some heat in the front tires. They're on the pit lane. I don't know if the stewards are going to appreciate that.
I hear you, Leo. I like my front tires warm, as I've been chatting with Dean in the chat about it. Looks like Leo Dragotta is making sure those tires are warm for the first time he flicks the car through turn 3. As we're on board of them now, trying to the flick of turn 5 in that Mercedes. They're almost warm. But for him, he does come out in front of Ethan Bass. That's kind of important in the battle. But he's got, meanwhile, Elvis Rankin looks like he's dove to the pit lane. Let's see where Elvis is. He was only about 6 seconds back from our leaders a few laps ago. Let's see how much he's closed when they make their way down past front start.
All right, here's that battle for the lead in GTP, Larry, and Michelle Squarick had a great opportunity there to get past Daniel Molino as they came up towards the Fox Factory Bridge. The only problem was there was an LMP2 car directly in front of her, and she had to check up. So we'll see here now as both Hudek and Dalton Fredericks head to the pit lane. That leaves Molina and Squarick is the only two.
Here comes the battle for the lead in GT3 Pro. Rankin is exiting the pits. Dragota is about to go by him, but this battle is going to be tough. Ethan Bass is going to be right there. It looks like Dragota is going to have the advantage. Rankin has served a drive-through earlier in this race, and here he is fighting for the lead.
And has made up 23 positions, Larry, since that drive-through penalty.
Yeah,
as Ethan Bass on cold tire, or probably on warm tires, gets past Elvis Rankin. So drop one Mustang back behind the other, and Bass sliding in the second. But what a great fight here in GT3.
Oh, this is going to be epic. Again, you've got 3 guys that have all won this class at some point in their day, and we don't have records far enough back to know when Elvis did it, but I know that he did. And then, of course, the 2 out in front were the last 2 champions of this class, those 2 seasons. So this is going to be a fight to the bitter end. And then you got Reciputo, who's right there. Unfortunately, the rest of the pack, he's got a lot of work to do in the next 20 minutes or so to get there, but this could be a 4-car race for GT3 Pro.
And so Casey Phillips is in the chat, and he wants to know if it's that Elvis Rankin that races for the Porsche Coanda esports racing team. And yes, Casey, it is.
That's our Elvis. I'm claiming him.
Former Apex Racing Team driver as well.
Now, there's Reciputo
go back through
right
the
now.
notes.
Yeah, Reciputo right on the heels of Rankin. He's going to try and use Elvis to draw himself up to the front too and truly make this a 4-car race. Right now, Ethan Bass being very careful with the battles with Leo Dragota, trying not to give Elvis Rankin any opportunities. Meanwhile, I think it's McPherson. Yes, Kevin McPherson looks like he's trying to find his way through these battles.
All right, Daniel Molino now, Larry, coming down the pit lane from the lead. He was your final racer to pit in the GTP field as Michelle Squarick came down the pit lane 1 lap prior. And Michelle now coming, I believe, up towards turn 7 at the moment. And there you go, already on the back straight as Molina ducks into the pit lane. Most of the racers, they've been in their pit boxes for anywhere between 24 and 26 seconds, and so we've got probably about another 5 seconds before he's going to start coming down the pit lane. It's going to be close as he leaves his pit box now.
It's going to be very close. Meanwhile, Robert Hartley having issues in turn 7. Trying to hold that inside
BMW
line.
Driver.
Yeah. But his teammate, Leo Dragota, continues to lead, but for how long with Bass, Rankin, and Reciputo? Look at the 4 of them now, nose to tail.
And Larry, huge development there. Well,
that's contact. Look at Rankin surviving the crash.
Oh my gosh. As Ethan Bass runs Elvis Rankin to the almost to the wall there coming out of turn 5, Larry. I would say I don't know if he knew he was there, but that I'm sure is going to come under review.
I am pretty sure Ethan Bass knew exactly that Elvis Rankin was there. You see them coming out, and Bass just trying to hold his line. I don't know that he actually moved over after. I think Rankin was trying to shove his nose in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they look at it. It seems to be a no harm, almost no harm, no foul.
John, I know we've had some issues tonight. Is it possible to see that from an overhead by any chance? As they, I mean, it may not matter at all now, Larry, as they come out of turn 12 side by side.
So here's the replay.
Yeah, Well, the blimp had a good view of it. All right, well, let's take a
Here we
look.
go.
Here it is, Larry, as they come through.
So watch the
Rankin
line.
Rankin got a
Bass.
hell of a run.
Bass does not move from his line until there's contact.
Till there.
So I actually, I think I'm in favor. Ethan Bass did the right thing to hold his line. Rankin thought he had a better run, thought through his position, and just was trying to force the issue. Turns out neither one of them suffered. But look at this now as Michelle Squirk's trying to squirm her way through there, and look at these two now with
Yeah,
Rankin
I was going to say with
taking the
Bass
opportunity.
and Rankin, almost right there with her, and Larry now it is Stephen Hudek who has made up probably a good 5 seconds on Michelle Squirk. Now that being said, Squirk did not have the greatest of pit stops. She was at the end of the pit cycle almost 5 seconds back from Molina.
But wait,
So congested.
Ricmotech now challenging to the back of Ethan Bass, as Bass was held up a little bit of the accordion effect going into the chicane, but they all line up now. But yeah, as you're talking about Hudek joining the fray, Dalton Fredericks has now joined the fight here in this group of GTPs as well. So you've got 4 GTPs fighting it out, and now you got 4 GT3 pros all fighting it out. This is insane. There's Ricmotech. Got shuffled back just a little bit with that LMP2 making his way through.
All right, so Elvis now not only dispatches with Ethan Bass, but gets ahead of Leo Dragota as well. Let's take a look at this, Larry, as Dragota has to contend with the GTP traffic coming down into 10A, and Rankin just takes advantage, turns in later, goes right up the inside of Elvis Rankin, takes the lead coming down the hill.
Wow. I suspect we're going to see some counter moves here from Dragota, but that was Dalton Frederick, who's trying to stay in that mixed fight there at GTP. Didn't want to wait behind the GT3s through there, but now again, going through 10A, 10B, again, Dragota not as quick on the exit there as Rankin. Rankin's so good at getting on the gas early there.
So, Larry, going all the way back to 2021, Elvis Rankin, your GTE champion here in the World Champion. And I believe in Season 3 as well. Let's go take a look here because we've got a big development
keep
coming
your eye
down
on Ethan
in
Bass.
10A.
So Ricmotech coming through Bass alongside one of our GTPs, and Bass goes around. Ricmotech goes by him, so that's going to cost Bass a couple seconds. Ricmotech as well, as now we're down to a 2-dog fight out in front.
As Mike Dam takes over 4th position now and moves Ethan Bass all the way back into 5th.
Yeah, good job opportunity there for Mike Dam. Again, every point counts in an 8-event series. Even if you don't finish in the top 2 here, you need to collect as many points as you can. There's a good look at Mike Dam in that Orion BMW. Let's see, does Dragota have anything for Elvis Rankin, or has Rankin basically put a stamp? He's got 20 minutes left, a lot of traffic still to be had for all of these guys, but Elvis looking very fast. He's on the tail of Keith Stein. This could be an opportunity now for Dragota to try and close up a little bit.
As we've got now less than 5 minutes remaining, Daniel Molino leads GTP over Michelle Squirk. Advantage now just under 1 second. In GT3 Pro, Elvis Rankin, your leader. GT3 AM, Lucas Dragota. And in GTP, it's Justin Barrera.
Let's see how Dragota does to get past Keith Stein. We saw how good Rankin was. He was patient, but then got the opportunity on the straightaway. Dragota maybe catching Stein going into the 6-7 complex, along with an LMP2 car that's not going to make things any easier. Little draft here to help Dragota.
I was going to say, you might as well, if you can, take it from a prototype car and notice as soon as the prototype car moves over driver's right that Dragota falls right off the back here. And Saragota, really with time running down, has to make way with the Rockefeller Racing Mustang very quickly.
Fast. All right, Squarick again on the heels of Molina. We saw this earlier. Molina had a good stop, was able to use the traffic to pull ahead of Michelle Squarick. Now, Squarick has done the work to get back there and didn't bring Stephen Hudek with her this time. So it's a one-on-one battle right now at GTP. They've got Louis Satterley right up there in front of him in the LMP2 car. He's going to probably try and get out of their way. Let's see if he does or if he splits them. Well, he's not making life easy for Michelle.
No, he isn't. Well, I mean, down there aren't many places for him to go, Larry.
He could have just checked up and let the two GTPs have a clean run, but Michelle right now has got such pace. I think she's just looking for an opportunity to pass. She's well within striking distance at this point.
She manages to make that ground up coming out of turn one. She, I think, undoubtedly has been the faster of the two, coming off the front straight and up the hill towards three.
Maybe better in traffic, because right now that seems to be the issue for Molina. He's taking a little bit too long to get by traffic. Squarick now going to try and force Molina into a tight entry at 6. Doesn't take the bait. Good exit off of 7 with GT3s in front. So Kevin McPherson was given a drive-through penalty for an incident involving the 97 car along with Mr. McPherson. Trying to see who the 97 was.
And McPherson received a stop and hold penalty. So,
that's pretty serious.
All right, a little bit further back in the field, this is Charlie Hosea in the Rockefeller Racing Corvette, one of the few Corvettes in the field. He's got Chase West in the 757 McLaren just ahead. And then Robert Hartley not that far, much further up the road in his Orion BMW after Hartley had that spin over at turn 7. A little bit further, this is, Larry, this is, I think, the battle for... this is Hartley and Carrido. I was looking to see, because Carrido currently running 3rd in AM to Chester Guidry. Guidry now has opened up about 2 seconds.
Hartley not having his Orion livery on tonight. Probably have that fixed in 2 weeks. This is hard to identify. You don't see the classic Orion Huffy colors. But that is him.
I said a couple minutes ago, Larry, that we only had 5 minutes remaining. That was, wishful thinking, as if it was a 60-minute race, not a 75-minute race.
Maybe wishful if you're, Molina out in front. You'd like this thing to end soon. Look at Carrido chopping in front of Hartley, trying to hold that position. Carrido is trying to put the fight here because he really wants to catch up to Chester Guidry, who passed him, and Guidry now running 2nd. They're about 3.5 seconds from there. Carrido also trying to hold off a charging Chase West. So Carrido in a very vulnerable position here. Does he fight? Does he not?
But Larry, even as he was trying to defend against Hartley there, he was still lapping almost a half second a lap faster than Guidry ahead. And so, perhaps now that Hartley's been able to get by, if he can just lock in and maybe get a nice little pull down the straight, he might have, with, again, about 14 minutes now remaining in the race, might have enough time to get up to him and challenge for that next step on the podium. That said, they've got some angry GTP cars behind them.
Yeah, well, there's Chase West and running 4th in GT3 AM. with Charlie Hosea in the GT3 Pro Corvette trying to make his way through.
And Kevin McPherson coming down the pit lane for that stop and hold that we spoke about just a moment ago.
Well, these two continue to fight. I believe that's Fernando Takahashi right behind them in the BMW GTP.
The red M-Power. Yep.
Yeah. And then
right behind them, two of the LMP2
Jordan Butler
cars. Yeah, I think that's. I was just going to say, I think that's Jordan Butler.
Mm-hmm. At least one of them is. The red and black one is.
Yeah.
The DNA
is that Bobby Letskos, I think, as well. That would be the battle for ninth.
Or is it Jake? Vasconcelos, maybe, but.
And Larry, how quickly things change now.
Yeah.
As Michelle Squarick again has fallen a bit off of Daniel Molina, perhaps because of traffic, and Stephen Hudak in the number 44 Porsche. He's right back there in the fight for second.
So is Dalton Frederick in the number 20. You can see that silver and orange. He's in this fight as well. Look at that. There's your fourth place runner. So 2, 3, and 4 now. A couple car lengths between them. Fredericks is up on the back of one of our Purple Sector Motorsports entries there in LMP2. Let's see which one that is. That's Jordan Griffin. So much traffic tonight.
Jordan Ricmotech now back in 10th position. It's got Ilya Speaker, who had that off a little bit earlier in over turn 7, and Ken Copeland. Copeland having dropped, I think, all the way back to 15th position in Pro, now up to 11th. After a start that put him in the top 5.
Good run here on the exit for Rick Segrini, trying to get a run here on Speaker into 6. No, nothing there, but if he can get that same kind of exit off of 7, we could see a pass going into 10 at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, that's a pretty good run there for the Mercedes.
Yeah, and you notice that just the slightest of bobbles there didn't get a lot of front end grip there, Larry, and a big correction from Speaker just past the apex. And Rick Segrini getting a very good launch out of turn 7. It's going to help him as he comes down the hill here and gets the pass made under braking going into 10.
Yeah, great use of the brakes there. Wasn't quite sure if it was going to turn into a braking contest. Yeah, perhaps Speaker just backed off a little bit to get a better run instead of fighting. Also knowing, of course, that Copeland's just right there behind them. Meanwhile, we check back in with some of our other battles here in the LMP2 ranks, as we got a good fight going on in the 88 of Scott Mowry. And then Kevin McPherson as well, who's served that penalty. Oh, that's going to be some damage into the wall on the inside.
As Mowry tries to drive him all the way down to turn 1, Larry. Oof, that was ugly. As McPherson heads to
himself on the toe.
Just popped right over the wall, and there he is in his pit box. All right, let's see if we can take a look at that. Yeah, that just. And unfortunately, maybe a little bit of contact there coming out of 10B.
Yeah, this is what happens when you come down the hill in Atlanta, is that curb on the inside ultimately is, I think, what sends the inside driver into the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, as he kind of lifted up and you saw him understeer a little bit out to the outer car, and as it comes around, just really.
And it looks like Scott Mowry is going to get himself likely a drive-through penalty, as there was one issued here already. Quick judgment for the stewards on this one. You can see he just didn't quite hold his line on the inside, and that's going to cost him both.
It's unfortunate for two of our rookies here this season. As we go back with Daniel Molina, who's now managed to open up almost 2.5 seconds on the fight between Square Kudek and Fredericks.
Yeah.
And Larry, Elvis Rankin here on the front straight.
Yeah.
With now almost 8 seconds on Leo Dragota. And again, Rankin, who started off at on the pole, took an early drive-through penalty for a start violation, moved all the way back, fell back to 24th in the GT3 field, now back to the lead.
Unbelievable drive. This is pro level. This is a pro level driver in our series, and just showing you how fast he really is. He was fast a couple of years ago when he was in here. He's only gotten quicker and just able to overcome a drive. Maybe every week he does. He's not going to be with us all season, but wait a second. I'm going to say I'm getting a little bit of punt from behind and then returning the favor back across the S's.
And I think, Larry, that might have been our 4th place runner in GTP, Stephen Hudek, in the Porsche. Takes on a lot of damage there, but let's take,
If we see it again, Hudek may have actually bumped into him.
I was going to say, I think Hudek getting, that's just what I was going to say, is I think Hudek sent the Corvette around to start this sequence
so there's Hosea, gets hit first by Hudek, and he's just trying to hang on. It just happens to come in the path of Hudek. This is the way that it goes. Hosea really kind of the victim there in the mess.
In the meantime, that gives Dalton Fredericks a little, not just a little bit of breathing room, but about 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds of breathing room. As we are now down to about 6 minutes remaining here in this 75-minute season opener from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, round number 1 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge. Going to stay with us next Monday night. The Mini-Mite Sports Car Challenge descends on Virginia International Raceway. That's our LMP3 and GT4 racers. That'll be a 65-minute bout for round number 2 of the championship. And then in 2 weeks, we head to Germany, Larry, to the Hockenheim ring for another 75-minute fight here in the World Challenge. Given Elvis Rankin his due, we're now watching Lucas Dragota, our GT3 AM leader, with Brian Bennett. They're trying to poke to the inside. Bennett now moves up 1 position overall. He is still running 8th in GT3 Pro. Lucas Dragota, he's got some breathing room, Larry. He's got Rick Segrini, Speaker, Copeland, and Hartley separating he and Chester Guidry, who did manage to get around Dan Carrillo, move up in the 2nd. So move the number 1 machine up a position.
Oh, that's a lot of issues there for Connor Nixon. Finding the motorcycle turn there at the bottom of the hill, and that's trying to hit the brakes.
Say not just the motorcycle turn, Larry. That's to the club pit lane as well.
Yeah.
If you miss one, get the other one. We've got the 2 Speed Lab cars here in
he may have had some help though from an Orion entry.
Oh yes, as Moisman had gone around there over at turn 5, and then I believe head to the pit lane.
A lot of activity going on out there here in the last closing minutes Less than 4 minutes on the clock as Justin Barrera continues to lead the field. Pretty dominant effort here for Justin here in the LMP2. I think we had seen him for a race or two last season as well. Maybe we could check in real quick at GT3 Pro. It looks like Ricmotech has got himself within range of a Leo for second. Potentially here. The fight is on in GT3 Pro between these two Mercedes drivers. I wonder if Jagoda is working his way on fumes here. And
could very well be. He did have his pit stop was about a second shorter than Elvis Rankin's. And that could very well be that he's just in fuel-saving mode to get to the end.
Yeah, Ricmotech is doing a good job of capitalizing on it. See if this turns into anything. As we're less than 2.5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
At some point, depending on where our GTP leader is, the white flag will come out and define it for everybody else. But we'll keep an eye on this. Does Ricmotech have enough to catch Jagoda for second spot? And then if something's wrong, really is with Jagoda, if he runs out of fuel, Mike Dam just another 5 seconds back.
At the moment, Jagoda and Ricmotech lapping fairly similar lap times here, Larry, within just a couple of within about a tenth or so of one another. But if Ricmotech can manage to get into the draft here, I mean, he's got a chance with 1 minute left on the clock, and Daniel Molina just about to cross the start-finish line to take the white flag. There you go, Molina now starting his final lap here at 2.54 mile Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Squarick now 4 seconds in arrears, with Dalton Fredericks another almost 5 seconds back from there. So things have really opened up here in the last couple of laps.
Well, not over till it's over as we keep an eye on Daniel Molina working his way through some traffic there. Maybe a clean exit here, a 7 would go a long way to sealing this thing, but nothing is easy. Nothing's given for sure, as Molina now just has to do one more chicane and then down the hill to try and take the opening round win. Did a good run. He's really had to fend off Michelle Squarick, who fought a couple of times, got very close to Daniel. But each time, Daniel able to use a little traffic, use a good pit stop and some other things to finally seal this thing. One more corner to go as he goes past the 48 of Keithstein. And there you go.
There you go. Taking the win in round number 1 of our 14th season of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge. It is Daniel Molina from Rosso Esports. Welcome to the World Challenge, Daniel. Michelle Squarick will finish second. Dalton Fredericks will finish in third. And here comes Justin Barrera. He is your leader in LMP2 as he comes underneath the Fox Factory Bridge for the final time around turn 12 and across the line. It is Justin Barrera from Metamorphosis. He finished 13th last season, Larry, but he takes the win here in the opener of season 14. Congratulations to him. Alex Crow should finish in second, with Josh Chinsky finishing in third. And now our first to last, back to first, Elvis Rankin. Welcome back to the World Challenge. You are the winner in the opening round of the World Challenge, racing for Speed Lab in the number 2 Ford Mustang GT3. Elvis Drago, or probably Leo Dragotta will finish second. Nicholas Resputo will finish in third. Mike Dam finishing just off the podium. And in GT3 AM, Larry, talk about just eking it out. There is Lucas Dragotta, driver of the 119 Dragon Sport Mercedes, your GT3 AM winner. And looks like either
maybe
he ran out of
family towing may help them.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they're just getting a nice photo op there on the pit wall or something. I don't know. But that is your winner in AM for Dragon Sport. Lucas Dragotta finishing second. Chester Guidry and Dan Carrillo will come home in third. All right, well, Larry, that's your finishing order. Let's take a quick break. We'll thank some of our partners and sponsors. And when we come back, we'll talk to some of our race winners here tonight at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Please stay with us.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best-trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Hundreds of name brand parts. Expert support. Ricmotech has you covered. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, where you've just seen round number one of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Larry Lefty McLeod, and those right there are the folks who just won. Daniel Molina takes the win in GTP for Rosso Esports. Justin Barrera from Metamorphosis takes the win in LMP2. Elvis Rankin, he's your GT3 Pro winner for Speed Lab Esports, and taking the win in GT3 AM, it is Lucas Dragotta for Dragon Sport. Great race here tonight. Great way to open up the new season, Larry.
It really was. Huge field, lots of chaos, but those that survive have got their first step towards championships here in this very long season. Let's talk to a few.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Tell you what, why don't we start off with our LMP2 winner tonight from Metamorphosis. It's Justin Barrera.
All right, Justin Barrera joining us here. Justin, that win, it was a crazy night, but for you, it seemed, I don't want to say easy, but it certainly seemed a little easier than the rest. Tell us a little bit about your efforts that led to your victory here in LMP2. Justin, you might be on mute.
Justin might be on mute. And if he doesn't come off mute, oh, there he goes.
Hey, there he is. Hey, Justin.
Yeah. I think the setup was pretty good. It could be better, but I was testing a different setup. I think there's 0.2 on the table for me with a different setup. But it's okay. A lot of overtaking, a lot of dodging, dip, dodge, dip, duck, all that. Yeah, I did a 2-hour petite Le Mans yesterday with the majors, and so this was another good practice session.
Yeah, I gotta imagine a lot of traffic in both events, but tonight it seemed the traffic was 4 wide, 5 wide going down the back straight every time we got a camera there. A lot of spins coming out of 7. Did you just happen to miss a lot of that, or did you have to do a little bit of dodging to avoid it?
Oh, there's a couple times I had to get around 2 or 3 wide, and sometimes went in the middle, sometimes I went to the grass. I think there's a big iRacing range in there, and there's some people that don't know how to drive multi-class, a lot of people that do, so you just gotta be careful. And until the tires got up to temperature and everything's felt good, I just didn't want to push too hard on it. And then once we came out the traffic, I was a little bit, especially on the back side of that traffic, the back markers of the GT field, I was careful to get by because practice wasn't fun.
Well, you managed to survive. It's always good to get a strong result in the opening round of the season. Are we going to be seeing you sticking around this season and try to make an effort towards the championship?
Yeah, I'll try. Unless something comes up, or I just wish Dean was here. Give me some more competition.
He's in the chat if that helps.
He's in the chat. Apparently, he was texting from his Monday night college class.
Oh, okay. I know that last season, he took the win here, and I was right behind him, and I wanted to strategize. Unfortunately, I took myself out in T1, so this time I'm pretty happy I got the win, and just more experience needed to battle or get through traffic cleanly. But if I could give a couple shout outs, just let me know when.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Good job tonight, but certainly let's give some nods.
Appreciate you guys putting this on. Appreciate the Extreme Motorsports Racing Group and Ricmotech, the sponsorship for them, and Dean and his dad, and Friend Motorsport, Sudi, Shut Up and Drive It, and Zane Plumbing Motorsport. All these guys have helped me get faster and achieve more wins and whatnot. And of course my folks, mom, dad, sister, brother. But thanks guys, I really appreciate it.
All right, well, great job tonight. Dominant win here at L2. We're looking forward to seeing how the season plays out. Let's talk Dean into coming in. That could be a fun battle there as well. So
yes,
congrats on the win tonight for Justin Barrera.
I'm pretty sure there'll be more. Alex is a pretty potent person.
Okay.
He's a really fast driver.
Looking forward to it. All right, congrats, Justin.
Yep.
All right, there you go, Justin Barrera from Metamorphosis. Let's move over now to Larry. Let's go to GT3 AM, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We're going to bring in Dragon Sport Mercedes racer Lucas Dragota, your winner tonight in round number 1.
All right, your GT3M winner tonight, Lucas Dragota. And Lucas, a great run tonight. Good qualifying position between you and your competition. You just continue to capitalize on that. But it seemed chaotic out there. Tell me a little bit about what you saw.
Yeah, thank you. Very chaotic out there. The traffic is just crazy. 60 cars, one track. Bounce contact. So just managing traffic, and you're good.
Yeah, it just looked a little bit wild. And, but you seem to be in a mixture of a lot of the GT3 Pro cars. Is that sort of the goal this season now with the new point system? You have to, the Pro cars between you and your competition don't count against them. So it's, is that going to tighten things up as the season goes on? Now they're awarding points for just the AM separately?
Definitely a goal to beat the GT3s because it's kind of a benchmark if I go GT3 Pro next season. So, just trying to stay in front of the AMs, and that's all I need.
Well, its strategy worked very well tonight. Got you a victory here in the opening round. That's the best way to start out a brand new season. But I know that you've got a pretty big team there helping you out. You want to give any shout out to them?
First of all, my brother, always giving me setups. My dad or my family, cheering me on. Everybody, you guys for making an awesome stream, and everybody at the league do so much. It makes this league so awesome.
It is an awesome league, and a great run for you tonight to get the victory here. Rennsport Racing entry, Lucas Dragotta. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Larry, let's move over now to GTP. We're going to talk to our winner tonight, racing for Rosso Esports. It's Daniel Molina.
All right, Daniel, great job tonight getting the victory. It seemed to be moments of sweating there as Michelle Squirk, Stephen Hudak were really putting pressure on you a couple of different times. How were you able to withstand all that pressure and all those efforts to still come away with the victory?
Good night, guys. Yeah, as you said, it was a couple of moments, especially with the traffic. I think especially in the last part of the first stint, I got a little touch with some of the GT3s. I got a little damage in my front end, so I was understeer like crazy and had a little lock up. My tires were dead. That was the most difficult part of the race. Didn't repair all of the damage, but it wasn't terrible. But yeah, it was very close. I think all the race has been very fun, very close. So I think it's gonna be a fun championship.
It seemed to be a lot of fun out there, a lot of close racing, and it's great to see you. And I think we talked to your teammate Fernando before the race. So I think he may have brought you into this. Was this something you were looking for, a high-level racing league with the Rosso Esports team coming in?
Yeah, I was not so long ago that I joined Rosso Esports, and was Taka that shows me that championship. I'm a big fan of multi-class racing, of course, GTP as well. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna race that the first moment he told me about this. So I'm pretty happy that the first race end like this.
Yeah, it's a great result. Come right into the league in your first race, you come away with a victory. Very hard fought victory. It's not going to be easy, but welcome to the league and welcome to the victory circle. Do you want to give any mentions or any thanks to anybody around?
Well, first of all, congrats for all the guys on podium. The race was pretty fun, so I enjoy a lot. A little couple of moments that it could be better, but overall was a very fun experience. Of course, congrats to my teammate as well, Fernand Takahashi. Has a very good result, good points. Of course, thank you for all the Rosso Esports who have been supporting this championship a lot. Of course, thank you through my family and my girlfriend, and they are always in my side.
All right, well, congrats for your opening night victory here for Rosso Esports. Daniel Molina, congrats.
All right, Larry, that leaves one more driver who took the checkered flag first. And that is, well, we'll see if his interview skills have changed in the last 5 years. 4 years, pardon me. Elvis Rankin driving for Speed Lab Esports, your winner tonight in GT3 Pro.
All right, Elvis Rankin, I've been looking forward to this. Elvis, a couple of years ago, you were just a youngin' running in these series, and Greg and I were here to interview you, but now you've
we were
flown the nest
too, Larry.
You've flown the nest, you've done your thing, now you're back, and what an opening night. You come back in here, serve the drive-through penalty, and yet still win in dominant fashion. How have you been, Elvis?
I'm good, yeah. I'm a little tired because it's like 3 in the morning, but I'm doing good. I have like a trip to America next week to see some family, and I got offered like, oh, do you want to do the race? I was like, well, it'll probably help with like the jet lag anyway, so why not? I've been wanting to do it for a little while to come back because this is always like a really fun league to race in. But yeah, it's all been good.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun tonight. Maybe an extra challenge of having to do the drive-through penalty early made you have to work your way through the field. So you got to see the back of the field, the middle of the field, and then of course the front of the field in that great battle as you caught up to Ethan Bass and then of course Leo Dragotta. You measuring yourself, obviously you've got a pretty high measuring stick in your sim racing, but we've got some pretty good drivers that are in this league. Maybe you remember how you got started. What do you think these guys are at, and how do you think that shaped up when you get guys like Dragotta and Bass and Reciputo in those fights?
No, for sure. It's definitely like the league always has like a pretty high standard. Like for example, like Leo, I know he kind of is, he's really young as well, right? So he definitely has like a bright future. But yeah, I would say that for sure, like this league always has like very high standards. The drivers in here are pretty good. Even like going back to like the guys that I used to race, it was nice seeing like Rob, Mike, Travis. It was really nice seeing those guys again.
Yeah.
And just it brings back like the memory, so it's good. But no, it's always for sure a deep field in the series, and even like Ryan and stuff like that, it brings back memories. I was saying to Ryan as well, like, you're the only race director that I've ever like gotten a penalty and like known exactly what I did without even like telling me, known exactly what happened, and has smiled about it, because usually it's a lot of heat and frustration. And honestly, I'm kind of happy that it happened, because I probably would have fallen asleep or made some silly mistake if I was just out front. So it made it a bit more exciting and kept me on my toes a little bit.
That's good. He's keeping you honest. Even coming back in here with all the experience you've got, you still have to follow the same rules as everybody else. It's certainly made it for an interesting race to call. We thought it was a lot of fun. Are we going to see a lot of you this season, or is it going to be maybe hit or miss as we go forward?
It probably is hit or miss. If I get the chance, I would like to race. Like, it's always, as I said, it's always fun racing the series, but we're pretty busy coming up with like IMSA Esports and the F4 Esports World Championship. So my schedule is pretty full, but whenever I have a free Monday nights, then for sure I'll come out and have some fun.
Whenever it's 2 a.m. and he has nothing better to do on a Tuesday.
Yeah, something like this.
Yeah, we're glad we could welcome you back in here. You're always welcome to run a race with us. It's been a joy. But my favorite part now is I get to ask you if you have anybody you want to mention to give a thanks to for helping you get the win tonight.
For sure. I'd just like to say, like, big thanks to like the Speed Lab people, like they kind of put me in the position where I could come and do this, so I appreciate them. And just to obviously I drive for Quen the Esports, so thanks to them for like, I guess, letting me do this. And yeah, and shout out to my grandpa, because he was watching the stream, so
that's
big
awesome.
ups for him.
Yep, and hi to him too from us, because we're glad that he's back watching us. We know you also always used to give a shout out to them even a couple of years ago when you were a little younger, so it's awesome to see that still going on. But congrats tonight, Elvis, and I'm looking forward to having you anytime you want. Any of these 2 a.m.s you just hit your board, you want to jump in,
That's right.
Feel free.
Will do.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right, your GT3 Pro winner tonight from Speed Labs, at least for this series, Elvis Rankin. Congrats.
All right. Yep. Thanks so much to Elvis, and yeah, good to hear that voice once again. All right, Larry. So let's wrap things up here for Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Again, we've got a couple of events coming up on the schedule. Next Monday night, it is the Ricmotech Mini-Mite Sports Car Challenge, round number 2, and I think it's season 20. Is it? No, it's not season 25. I forgot. But it's round number 2. It's going to be at Heaven on Earth, Virginia International Raceway. And if you want to get on the grid, registration is open. You can head over to xmsracing.com/MSC-shop. And then in 2 weeks, September 22nd, the Ricmotech World Challenge, round number 2, we head to Germany, head a little bit closer to home for Elvis. And we're going to be heading to the Hockenheim Ring for another one of our 75-minute events. And then in 3 weeks, September 29th. Unfortunately, that is a race that I'm not going to be able to make, Larry. You'll have to do it all by yourself. The Mini-Mite Sports Car Challenge heads to Suzuka. But that should be a wonderful race. And a little behind the scenes, Larry and I might not be doing this as virtually next week. Yeah. I think we'll both be calling this race the race from VIR from Charlotte. Maybe we should just go to VIR and just
great idea.
Yeah,
I'll sit there in the darkness of VIR.
Yeah,
a virtual sim race. It'll be great.
I'll give Kerrigan a call. We'll go up to the Crow's Nest in the North Tower at 8 o'clock at night. It'll be perfect. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. We'll see you next Monday night for the Mini-Mite Sports Car Challenge. Thanks again, of course, to Larry Lefty McLeod, and of course, Jonathan Grabowski behind the scenes with 60 cars out on track. It ain't so easy, ladies and gentlemen. So he did a wonderful job tonight. So I want to thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next Monday night. Have a great
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.